Hello there, vinyl community and YouTube. It's time to take a little bit of step back in time. Well, sort of anyway. You might remember that I in January put up some goals for my collecting and for my VC membership, and some goals for what I wanted to do during this year. And I thought it was a good time now to actually go through that list of goals to see what has happened. What have I accomplished? What have I made? What haven't I been able to do yet, I might add, but some of these are a little late to actually have a okay for. I decided to do this right now and not when it's getting closer to New Year's Eve, because as usual I will do my New Year's Eve show where I am naming the best song of the year and the best findings of the year and so on. So I feel that if I'm going to do this, then that video will take forever. So I thought, well, I'll go through these goals now. So it's going to be interesting to do some reviewing of what I've managed to do in 2017. Among others, I wish to travel a little bit more to find records. I had a really great time filming those travels to Stockholm and to Hudiksvall that I've done, and putting it together, and really satisfied with those movies. So that is why I feel like I want to do that again. Well, when it comes to travel to find records, I think that one has been accomplished by far. Stockholm, Gothenburg, Umeå, Härnösand, travel to find records. Yes, I think I have managed to do that. So my goal is to be more, not to do that much blind buys when it comes to full lengths. Singles, I have nothing against doing blind buys if the singles are cheap enough. But when it comes to records, a little more secure with what I'm buying, that I really want this one. Well, I feel that I have been more secure with the buying this year. When it comes to 70 Soul, that I still trying to learn and trying to get some names and so on. There's still a whole lot of blind buys, but in many of those cases I also have searched for names and so on that feel like, well, this can be interesting, like it's those records with Isaac Hayes as a producer. But overall, yes, I have been more secure with what I have bought, and not as much blind buys on full length as usual. To find Chicago's Transit Authority during this year. I really want that record, and this year I want it. Mission accomplished in Stockholm this year. You remember that? I'm also going to do a culling of old records. I made a culling video. I did my culling, and hopefully I will be able to do some more culling in 2018. I want more cult classics on singles, and maybe on albums as well. Now we're coming to some goals that I haven't been all that successful with. When it comes to more cult classics, I found some cult classics, but I haven't nearly found as much as I want to, and to make this goal okay. Have this one that I've shown recently, the Vietnamese singer En Davi, and have this one with Italian singer Francesco Salvi, Esato, real cult classic, stupid one. But these are hard to find, very, very hard to find, so unfortunately I have to give it I have to actually give this goal a 0.
I'm going to try to push more on 78s this year, jazz records on 78s. Try to buy a new 78 record player.
More Jazz 78s. If I bought one, that is okay. I think I bought one 78 this year. So I think that one was, and I haven't been able to find a 78 player either at this moment. So I think that one also is not okay.
But I feel like I've been a little bit behind on listening to the new CD records that I'm buying. So I'm going to be a whole lot better of that this year.
Listen to more on CD is... I managed to do it not as much as I wanted to, but I have listened thanks to the finding of a new CD player that I put in my living room. I have been spending some Saturdays afternoons just laying in my favorite armchair and listening to some CDs in the afternoon, maybe do some little reading of comics. So there have been some a little more listening to CDs this year, even though it could have been more. But it's I rate it okay with a little bit of doubting. But I rate it okay.
I'm going to try to be more open to new music, not necessarily music from the top charts. I mean, it's impossible for me to be more open to Taylor Swift and stuff like that. But there are a lot of new bands that releases records that never will be discovered here in Sweden. And there's a lot of old artists that releases good music that I feel like never is being played in Swedish radio, and be more open to newer music than I have before.
Open to new music from 2017. Of course, there have been some songs that have been very interesting, of course, and there's been some bands that I managed to find that one song, but this doesn't sound all that bad. But to say that I have been more open to new music, I don't think it has been what I really thought. So that one is not okay.
I'm also going to be open to newer jazz recordings that are newer than the 50s. I think many of you have realized that my strength when it comes to jazz is from 1959 and back. After that, I'm not all that good.
Open to newer jazz, I have been actually. I've been fine, and when it comes to newer jazz, I meant, of course, newer jazz recordings. I didn't mean newer jazz styles like avant-garde or free jazz and so on. But I have been finding a whole lot. Before I listened more and more to jazz from 50s and before, and I felt like I wanted to be more open to jazz that were recorded in the 60s and 70s, swing and bop and so on, that were recorded in the 60s and 70s as well. And I think that I have managed to do that. I've been managed to buy and find much that are recorded in newer days, like this Sarah Vaughan live in Japan from 73. Sarah Vaughan never was one of my favorites, but I gave this a try, even though it's newer recorded and also with just a trio, and it was magnificent, great. Example number one. Example number two, from recorded in 1979, Thad Jones, Eclipse. And we have also here, recorded in 1973, Count Basie and Joe Turner. And we also have recorded in, let's see now, 1961, Buck Clayton Buddy Tate. So I have been managing to be more open to newer jazz recordings, definitely. So that one is mission accomplished and will go on.
And I'm going to find more records that are being recommended by you, subscribers and friends on the vinyl community.
Find more records from vinyl community members. Uh, Accomplished with a little doubt. This one is hard because that depends on what I find, and I take notes of records that members of vinyl community talks about, and I write it in my wish list. But it's hard to find them here in Sweden, so it has been a little so when it comes to being able to find them, but I have managed to find some that members have been showing, and that I finally managed to track down, and that I've gotten influenced by. Baraka P. Dub showed Herb Alpert's Rise, that I managed to find. Adam 87 has many times shown this, A Very Special Christmas, that I managed to find and buy. I was into the motors a bit before vinyl community also, but James Griffith talked a lot about the motors and the first album that I managed to find in Gothenburg. Many vinyl community members have talked about Genesis a bit before Invisible Touch and those more commercial years. Talked about this one, Duke, that I felt like, yeah, give it a try. I thought when I saw it in Gothenburg. And James Griffith showed me that there was one OMD record that I actually didn't have, that I thought, when I thought I had all OMD records, all but the two latest. So I had to go out and find their debut. So the vinyl community gives me a whole lot of ideas, a whole lot of inspiration. Not easy to find these records though, but I have managed to find some actually, so I give that mission accomplished.
And I hope to be able to do at least one contest during this year.
Now we're in on the goals that I had for for my year in vinyl community. When it comes to contests, I was hoping that I would be able to do a contest during this year. I haven't done that, unfortunately. I haven't had time actually, because of all the travels and travelogues and editing, and also writing on the blog and so on. So I haven't had the time actually to do a contest. So, but I will sometime down the line do a contest. It would be fun actually to have done that actually.
I'm going to do more outdoor filming. I'm really getting interested in this, to be able to go out here and just do this kind of movie.
More outdoor filming, and as I have been travel more to find records, there have been more outdoor filming. I've been filming at our new record store, so there have been a whole lot of more outdoor filming, definitely. It's very fun to film outdoors actually, to have new ideas to film and be able to do them and experiment a bit. So it's been really great year for that.
Film more from cities where I'm looking for records. It is also very close to what I mentioned before, to travel more for records.
And with more travels to find records, of course, there have been more travelogues, definitely. I can feel that there have been maybe a little too many of them, but yes, there have been more travelogues.
Hopefully, my goal is to finish that and 10 from 1 series.
This one a little bit doubting. I have done a couple of more 10 from 1, but I still have a couple of decades that I haven't done, 90s and 00s. So I give it okay for those that have it done, but with a little bit of doubting. I haven't finished that series yet. Has with time to do with time actually, and the problems I had with switching computers in the middle of the summer also. But hopefully I will be able to finish that also soon.
More year celebrations and so.
The year celebrations has more or less stopped, also because of time. But if there are interest in more year celebrations, I will of course do them. So I'm open to take them up again, but they have been poor with when it comes to year celebrations. So that one is. But otherwise, it has been a very interesting year. I feel I haven't accomplished a whole lot of the goals I put up for this year. So I consider myself very satisfied with that. Time to find new goals for 2018, but that will be in January. So now I'm about to edit another travelogue for Umeå, the record fair. I was at the record fair there in October. So hopefully that one will be next. So until next time, I hope that every one of you have a real nice time, no matter where you are, no matter what you do. So take care and see ya.